Hello, everyone. Welcome. Oh, sorry. Oh, I have to clear my throat. That's not a good way to start a live stream. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Cookie Decorating Live with Hani and friends. In today's episode, we're going to make cookies inspired by holy month of Ramadan. I don't know much about the Ramadan. So I looked up some facts, and I didn't realize it was the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. I think what I read, it's 10 days shorter than our calendar, right? I think their calendar is 355 days, and our calendar is 365 days. But correct me if I'm wrong. As always, this live stream you can watch as a replay. If you're watching a replay, don't forget to let me know where you are watching from. I also prepared a PDF for you guys. It includes links to the tutorials and also to the tools that I will be using today. I have not released the templates yet. Tomorrow I'm planning on putting those out in my coffee shop. And also, this is the schedule for February. So we are doing February, it's February 5th. We're doing Ramadan cookies next week. It's dog cookies. And then we have Mardi Gras and then thank you cookies. If you're looking for Valentine's Day ideas, we did Valentine's Day last month. Let's do a quick recap. Last month, we started with Chinese New Year cookies. These templates are available in the coffee shop, and also you can watch a replay on YouTube. These cute balloon cookies we did also in January. Then we did Remember the Horse cookies. And last week, I focused on buttercream decorating, and I made these teddy bear cookies with my crusting buttercream recipe. Has anyone tried the recipe, guys? Let's see who is here today. Hello, hello. Hello, Heather. Cloudy Chattanooga, how is it going? Hi, Byron. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, Cinderella is going to, oh, wow, really? So it's February 16th, I think, right? 75 years. Hello, Susan. Hello, Dutch. Hi, Jen. Hello, Zareen. Hello, nice to see you. Hello, Sally. Cold and gray Manhattan, Kansas. I love how you always emphasize that you are in Kansas. I love it. It's cold and gray. Hello, Kathy. It's nice to see you. I'm glad you could make it today. Oh, you suspected I was going to wear blue. Well, you guys liked it last week, so I might as well stick with it. It's very comfy, I have to say. It's very, very soft. So I really like wearing it. Hi, Gail. Hello, Judy. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Vanessa, all the way to Texas. Oh, and what did you think? Did you, I know you're not a, I know we chatted and you prefer royal icing, and I myself prefer royal icing as well. It gives you more possibilities, but I know some people prefer buttercream. All right, so let's have a look at things I wanted to share with you. Now it's the time, guys, to start preparing for spring. I know you're not thinking about spring and summer, but you can get a head start and make some realizing transfers. You can make cute little sunflowers. If you change the color on these could be, daisies. You can make these pink, you could switch up the color and make them more spring friendly. And then these are definitely spring friendly pansies. I love pansies so much. And so you can make these ahead of time. I've got a full tutorial on my YouTube channel and also on my blog if you are more of a picture learner. If you enjoyed the live streams, I just saw a little click thank you, Fora. If you enjoyed the live streams, please give them thumbs up. It helps to get the live stream out there. So beat the algorithm. We gotta do that, right? So hello, who is, okay, I see somebody else joined. So hello, Colleen. Waiting for the rain. We are supposed to have, oh, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I was researching about the colors, and I understand Ramadan doesn't have assigned colors, so anything could go. There are some colors that are more popular than others. I did try, and I used some green. I created like an emerald green. And those of you who are in my Patreon group, I shared a little clip how I oversaturated my icing with so much color that it wasn't drying. And you'll see, even I'll show you on one of these cookies, it just basically doesn't dry very well. It's dry to the touch. Like when you touch it, it's quite dry, but it's not dry underneath. It's very powdery. So that's an indicator that I use too much food coloring. Okay, so let me switch let's see. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I've got the camera here, and I'm going to be using round cookies today. And I also prepared a few things that I will show you later on. And the colors I decided to use are teal and ivory or gold. So you don't have to make a lot of different colors. So I've got teal. I've had 2 shades of teal and some ivory. And I have 2 designs, although I don't know if you'll have time to do both of them. These or these, right? So this is a fully iced base, and this is just brushed on to give it a bit more dimension. And if you have any questions during the live stream, don't hesitate to post them. I will be happy to answer any questions to the best of my knowledge. All right, so let's get started with these. I'm gonna take my glasses off so I can see. I hope I have enough icing in my bag. I can feel it. It's gonna be a close call, but we're gonna be doing some simple marbling, so I think it's gonna be okay. I can use the lighter teal to fill in. And then I'm gonna be using spatula to kind of blend this together a little bit instead of scribe. Now this design has a crescent in it, and I want to do simple wet on wet stars. So I'm gonna take my crescent just so I know where to do the stars. And you can just place it over your cookie and just pipe in case you are double guess, like second guessing yourself, you can do it this way. So I'm gonna put one here, and we're going to shape it. So I've got my paper here. I'm gonna be cleaning the tip of the tool, and I'm just gonna drag it up, clean the tip, and come back down, and also to the side, like so. And this is ivory straight from a bottle, food coloring that I used for this color. If you don't have ivory, you could use a little bit of yellow and just add a touch of brown to it or something like that to make like a mustard color. Okay, and now we want to have a little bit of dots in there. I want a dotted design. So let's, again, if you are second guessing yourself, you can use that little template. Because that section is going to be crescent, so we don't have to put the dots in there. And we'll also have a lantern. in there. All right. So this is pretty good. It's okay. We can add a few more here. And then after this, we're going to have to let this dry. What you can do, and this is not going to surprise you, you know how much I love this stuff. We can give it a little bit of shine with this gold luster dust. I don't know if you can see, it has a bit of a shine and shimmer. Now, okay, let's see if we have any questions. Hi, Byron is asking, how do you mix colors in cookies? Well, I either use straight from a bottle food coloring, but I often play with different mixing methods. I prefer, if I have royal icing that I have mixed before, I prefer using royal icing. Like, let's say I want to make sage, for example, sage green, right? So I would use, let's say, straight. I don't have a straight from a bottle sage green, so I would use. I have leaf green, right? And you need to add a little bit of black. But adding black from a bottle, from a food coloring bottle, it's quite difficult to add just a tiny little bit. So I prefer using royal icing. So if I have black royal icing, I will add just a little bit of royal icing to my leaf green, and then I mix. Then I see if I need to add more, and so on. Hello, Phyllis. Thank you. Hello, Toronto. Hello, Mary. How is it going? So those of you who are joining us later, we are making Ramadan cookies. I think Ramadan starts on February, from what I understand, February 28th, right? February 28th, and it's a whole month of fasting from dawn to dusk, I think, right? And you can't even have water, so it's a really full on fasting. I don't think I could do it without water. I'm very addicted to water. Candle gold luster dust be sprayed after the icing dries, or should it be done while it's wet? Well, I feel like it's sticking better while it's still wet. If you want to do it afterwards, I think I would use a little, like an airbrush. However, even when it's dry, I mean, let's see, we can try it on this cookie, although this one has a little bit of shine to it, but let's see if it's gonna stick. So, and then, I mean, it's not like you're gonna, I mean, it sticks a little bit, I think. I mean, it's not going anywhere. I don't think, you could do it, I suppose, afterwards as well. I just find perhaps it sticks a little better while it's still wet. All right, so now this one is fully dry. Okay. Hello, Susan, South Carolina. So we're going to do a crescent design. And to do the crescent design, if you're struggling with piping swirl, this can be challenging. And if this is your first time, perhaps, and you want to make sure that you get the swirls right, you can use a little template. Now, this is a tissue paper, and I know many of you are familiar with this method of transferring your designs on cookies. This can only be done when the base is dry. You cannot put this on a wet cookie, and because it will basically get stuck on there, right? This is just a tissue paper, but not a tissue paper like this tissue paper. There are different tissue papers. This one you use to wipe your tears. Hopefully nobody's crying. And this one, it's for packaging. You know, when you package your gifts or something like that, you can use that. And I just used edible marker, and I traced the design onto the tissue paper. So I had my design underneath, and I just traced it over it. Another thing is, another way you can decorate this cookie is you could obviously make the crescent fully iced, but if you want a nice pattern, what you can do, you can also use a stencil, right? And To make the crescent design, you need to block part of the stencil. So this is why I have here a Mylar stencil that I created. And you can place it onto your stencil holder. Obviously, adjust it before you spread icing across. And then you place it. You have to also keep in mind where your wet on wet stars are. You don't want to do it like this, right? You don't want to cover them. So you want to make sure that the crescent is going to be on this side there. So you could also do this, and this will be easier for many of you perhaps. And then you spread icing over it, and it will transfer this lovely design. And then you pick it up, and you've got a crescent on there, and all you have to do is outline. So that's another idea if you wanted to try that. So now I've got my tissue on here, and I'm going to transfer it. So we have to, I'm only going to do the swirls later on. After I'm done doing the swirls, I will come in with my template and I'll just do this inner circle here, because the outer edge, we can just follow the curve of the cookie. Okay, so again, as a reminder, because I did a mistake before, I made it like this and it wasn't correct, right? Because we want these stars to be like that. Okay, so now with edible marker, because this is a very thin paper, the marker is gonna seep through. I'm using brown marker. You can obviously use black marker. Lighter colored markers on this particular design, if you use like yellow, I'm not sure if it's going to be visible. So I suggest using darker marker. And again, your icing underneath needs to be fully dry. If it's just crusted, it's not going to work, because I am putting some pressure on the surface of the cookie with the marker. So if it's not dry, it's going to puncture and mess up the icing. And this same technique with the tissue paper you can use for lettering and other things. Okay, let's see. Hopefully it transferred. Okay, so this is pretty good. I don't know if you can see that, but you can. It's not harsh transfer, but it's clearly visible, right? Hello, Karen. How is it going? And so now I'm gonna take it out of the stencil holder. And guys, those of you who are new to the live stream, I did mention the PDF, but I didn't put the link in there. So let me do that now because I forgot. So let's see. We've got the also if you want to get reminders about the live stream, you can sign up for the newsletter, and I get this live stream reminders out about an hour before. Okay, it went through. Excellent. All right, and here is the template, not the template, the PDF. I don't think I have it. I was for sure. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's here. Sorry, folks. It's under the. Oh, here we go. Template and recipes. I will give you a general link for the coffee shop, and you can check it out there. All right. Okay. And also another plug, if you are completely new and you're looking for some ideas and guidance on how to get started, here is another link for the beginner's guide to cookie decorating. All right, so now we've got the swirls in place, and all we have to do is trace the crescent outline. And like I mentioned, I'm not gonna need this one. I just need the inner one. So let's just align it quickly, like so. Okay. All right, and now we're going to, I'm gonna use, I need to switch my piping tips. I'm gonna be using number 2 piping tip. And I've got my bag filled with ivory royal icing, piping consistency, so slightly thicker. It should hold the shape. If it's too runny, it's not going to work very well. Okay, because for the swirls like this, we need to have icing that is slightly thicker, so it's going to keep the shape. I'm going to start by outlining and creating the crescent shape itself, and then we'll do the swirls. So let's start here. Oh, I nearly made the same mistake like I did yesterday. Okay, I forgot. We're doing the lantern. And the lantern I'm going to do with a simple stencil. I'm so glad I remembered. I made the same mistake before. And so we're going to do it before we do the crescent. So I'm going to place it about here, and then we can spread some icing across. And I'm going to be using this thicker consistency icing. I'm just going to, oops, can you see? Spread it onto the palette knife. I'm going to hold it in place and then spread it across like so. And now we're going to use this gold dust. And then we can carefully lift it up, all right? And now we can do the crescent. Yes, it's been, yeah, I guess you can't really see very well, right? So the lantern I cut out of the Mylar sheet. Now we're going to do the crescent and then the swirls. Now let's pick up here, and I'm just gonna go around following the outer edge. All right, now let's see. We can use a little brush to smooth it. And now we can do the swirls. Are you guys excited? Let's see if we have any questions. So I'm going to start at the very top here. I'm just going to follow the guide that I made with the marker. It's much easier to do it when you have a guide. Oops, went a little too far. When you have a guide, because you don't have to second guess yourself. If you have a projector, obviously you could use a projector. There's a little bit of a gap, but it's okay. I'm going to fix it later with some dots. So this is for the swirl. Now I'm going to switch my piping tip for number 1 that I've got here. So number 1 and number 2, I'll just see for the comparison. So number 2 in my right hand and number 1 in my left hand. So if you don't have number 1, you could use PME 1.5. That's nice also. You just like I'm using smaller tip for some nice detail. All right, so hopefully this is coming out. Let's see. I feel like it's a little clogged. Of course it is. So when this happens, what you can do, you can run it under hot water. If you have a lot of lumps, I received this recently on my blog, daniela.com. I received that question because you've probably seen this technique, but when you have a lot of lumps in your icing and then you're using a super small piping tip, what a lot of decorators would do, you can strain it, basically push it through nylons, but like clean nylons. And the question was, somebody was asking, because obviously nylons are not made to be, I suppose, they are not supposed to come in contact with food, or I don't know. I don't know if it's food safe, basically. But that's what that's what I would do if I was. Oh, why is this? I guess there is a big God, but let's see if we can do it. All right, so now I'm going to pipe 3 dots. And so the middle one is going to be larger than the ones on the side. Yeah, and then you repeat here. We can do it here. I'm going to hide this little gap. And then you have to repeat as many times as you'd like. Oops. And then also here to finish the lantern, you could use edible marker. I don't know if I'm gonna get this working. This is not working very well. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna just put it into a piping tipless piping bag because I think there's a piece of sugar there that is blocking the flow, and so I'm just going to squeeze some of this into a piping bag, tipless piping bag. Okay, and hopefully that's going to be easier to work with. Okay, so if this happens to you, don't despair. I know it's so discouraging sometimes when we come across a problem that is kind of causing some frustration, but there is always a solution. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a small opening on this piping bag. What happens even with the lumps, because I don't have a piping tip in here, it's a bit more flexible. So if I give it a little push, it will go through, as opposed to the metal tip. The blockage just you can't really, it's just unfortunate impediment. All right, so now this should work. Okay, much better, I think. All right, so now let's add a few more dots here and there. And now to make the string, I'm just going to pipe a row of dots. Okay. Do you have a copy of the lantern? I will have the lantern, a copy of the lantern out hopefully soon. In a few days, I think it will be out. Here we go. So I'm gonna this one. This one, it's the green one. Remember I told you about the green, how I had oversaturated my icing. So let me just quickly show you what that means. I hate to destroy it. But let's see if we can do it on this one. You see how soft that is? Can you see? You see how soft this is? I mean, it's dry, but it's very powdery. So if I were to write on it, let's see if we can do that. You see what happens? It's actually going through the icing. So it's dry, but not as dry as it should be. So this is what happens when you oversaturate your icing with food coloring. Okay, so and the last step is we can let everything dry, and then you can paint with additional gold all the swirl designs. And I've got, this is a soft gold. It's a really nice gold, Roxy and Rich soft gold. And I've got it here in my palette. And what I'm gonna do, I wonder where I put my my Everclear. Oh, here it is. It was right in front of me. All right, so into the palette. This is dry, but we're going to reactivate it with just a few drops of Everclear. And that's gonna be enough, I think. If you add too much, don't panic. It's going to evaporate very, very quickly. All right, so now you can see it's very soft. It's a lovely, lovely pink. Isn't it difficult to decorate cookies with elegant colors? I think it's more about the design. When the design, it's I don't want to say simple, but when it's not too busy, you have to really pay attention. So your lines are nice and so on. So I think that's not. I don't think it's too much about the colors. Although darker colors will show, I think, more mistakes than lighter colors. So there is some truth to it. All right. I used ivory, as many of you know. If you're following me, I've been using ivory or like light brown to help with the coverage. It just provides better base for gold. And if you're doing swirls and you're really struggling, try to up the piping tip. What I mean by that, when using a fine piping tip, it can be a bit more difficult to pipe the swirl. So I use number 2, but you can go up number 3. It will be slightly larger, but if that's easier for you, you can go ahead and try it. I'm gonna turn it, and then we can go this side. See, here I was testing a different gold. It was I don't have it here, on the edge here, so it's darker, but it wasn't really married to that gold, so I decided to use this soft gold instead. Okay, and these, you can also quickly touch them up with a little bit of this gold. Okay. My glasses. All right, so this is the first design. I've got one in teal right here. This reminds me of turquoise jewelry, you know, the one I'm talking about. And I have to say, I do like the green, but next time I just have to use less wood coloring. I just kept adding, and I knew it was wrong. But sometimes, you know, we do these things. All right, so now I wonder if we have time to show you the stenciled one. What time is it? What drops did you put in? So I used Everclear. You can also use other grain alcohol if you have a clear grain alcohol. The bottle says pure lemon extract. So when I was starting out I think in Pennsylvania, I couldn't get Everclear, or I wasn't aware of Everclear, I guess, at that time. So I would use lemon extract to use as my basically my activator for luster dust. The only disadvantage is if you don't like lemon, because it comes, I think it's like, it doesn't say on a bottle anymore, but it's like 70% or something like that. So it's quite strong. And so it also would evaporate very quickly. The only thing is it's lemon flavored. So if you are not a fan of lemon and you are adding a lot of pipe details on your cookies, then obviously everything will have that little bit, it will be a little bit of, like there will be, blah, blah, blah. There will be a little bit of lemon flavor. Oh, God help me. Thank you, Jen. Okay, so we have few more moments for the next design. I was going to do the full crescent, but I think stenciling might be more interesting. I wasn't planning on it, but we have few more moments. But before we do, let's take a little icing break. Obviously, I need it. All right, so I'm gonna remove this screen, and I've got a few pictures I wanted to share with you that ladies sent me earlier this week. So let's start with Sally, obviously. Sally made the teddy bear from last week. I love it. I love it so much. And then also, I think you used the same icing to make these hearts. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then also you surprised me so wonderfully with this set that you made inspired by the set I released in the Patreon group, the tea set cookies. And I love your addition of the flower design you did with the stencil. So that's a great, great addition to the whole design. And then also the coffee cookies you sent me. I think these were inspired by Sweet Amps, by Amber's design from a while back, I think. And I don't know where, I think she has them on her blog. Excellent. And also, Jen, if you're still here, I'm so glad that your cataract surgery went well. And thank you for sending these cookies. Love is all around. All right. So now let's go back to the stenciled version. I wanted to quickly show you that because I think it's really nice. So I've got here, I've got, this is like a silicone mat. This is like anti-slippery. So I don't want my cookie to be sliding all over the place. And I've got one cookie. This one is green, but it's gonna be fine, hopefully, even though it's not fully dry and I wouldn't write on it. Oh, I should do the lantern first, right? So I've got my lantern here. Let's clean this up a little bit. And you could make, what's great about these lanterns, you could make different shapes, styles, and you could add them all on perhaps another cookie. But let's see. So we're going to just make sure that it's going to fit in there. We can put it a little bit further. Okay. So I think this is going to be good. Placement is okay. And now we have to get the icing. Although, okay, now I'm thinking, okay, this is, I haven't done this, I haven't thought this through. Okay, so I will not, so you would do the lantern and then you have to let it dry for a little bit, like let's say 20-30 minutes, so it's dry, and then you can do the crescent. Okay, so I showed you how to do the lantern. So imagine I'm spreading it across, I'm pulling it up, and there is your lantern. Okay, but because we don't have time, we don't have 30 minutes for it to dry, because if I put this on, where is my strength? If I put this on while the lantern is still wet, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna mess up the lantern because this is touching the lantern, right? So I have my block in there, and now we're gonna put this stencil over it. Now there are different stencils you could use. But I really like this pattern. Okay, so now this is very simple. Now we are going to use a spreader, and you have different spreaders that you can use. I've got this flexible spreader, and then also this small one. So it depends on, or maybe even this one will work. So we will use this one. This is from Sweet Sugar Bell. And I'll just pipe some icing onto my spreader a little bit, like, okay, this should be enough, hopefully. And then we can, oh, Charlie, where did you send them? I keep missing your cookies. I will have to check again, but send them again, please. So I've got my spreader loaded with some icing, and so now we're just going to spread that over. I think it's better perhaps if I switch to this one. It's a little more flexibility. And I think I need more icing. Okay. Now, if you want to, you can spray this, dust it with luster dust, or you can leave it like this and then do it later. I'm trying to get into the corners. Let's see if I can do it here. Okay, this one is better. All right, so I'm gonna do it now, just for the fun of it. And then let's see what this looks like. Okay. Okay, I can't show you that, it looks terrible. So now you have the crescent, a little thicker than I would have liked. But what you could do then, you could do the outline. I mean, obviously you would have a little lantern in the middle, and this is much easier than doing the swirls, right? Much easier than doing the swirls. So it's really up to you which approach you would take. And you could also, here is another one, right? You could also ice the whole crescent with the icing, and this one is probably the least time consuming. You also just ice this section, right? You just spread it with a spatula or palette knife, and then you let it dry, and you do the lantern and then the crescent, and that's it. Can you see? Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So next week we are doing dog cookies. I am sorry, I don't understand. Perfect. So I guess that's good. I don't understand what you're saying. Thank you, Zarin or Terin. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. My apologies. All right, guys. So we did good. We did good. I have a few more moments to spare. So if you are new again, I wanted to just tell you that we go live every Wednesday, right? Every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I've got the schedule for this month already up. So we are doing, if you missed it in the beginning, we are going to be doing these designs this month. So next week, dog cookies, Mardi Gras, and thank you cookies. And I've got most of the year already up on my blog. So if you get the PDF, I believe the link is there for all of the lives I think I have everything up till maybe June or something like that. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you tuning in today. Let's see if I can get this. Okay. There. Finally. Figure out how to remove my screen there. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for watching the 247th episode. Can you guys believe it? This was the 5th episode of the year. Thank you, and I will see you next week. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.